presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hey, Robert, how you doing, man?
Yes, good, and thank you for taking my call. I wanted to let you know that I've been a subscriber for a couple of years, just different members of your team, and I really enjoy it. But really the reason I'm calling is to express my sincerest gratitude for you providing that information yesterday on the small business grant. I'm a small business owner and primary breadwinner for my family, and if I can get that money, it's going to really mean a lot to my family. So
that's awesome.
Thank you for taking the time to do that.
No, well, listen, man, we appreciate you growling a problem with us.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Quite a reverse of trend in the market. You have the SPX trading up 1.93% at 5,955. You get the composite up 2.47% at 19,515. The Dow Jones Industrial up about 1.85% at 43,308. How about that? Reversing over. I mean, that's quite a wild kind of gap up there. And the Russell up 2.09%. In the DXY off about 0.14% at 109.09. You got crude oil still very strong, trading up 4.08% at 80.66. You know, another thing for you guys to look at if you ever want to play, oil basically. Our friends over at Direction have some fantastic ETFs. I like Gush. I like Drip as well. These are 2 times leverage in either direction. Obviously, Gush would be bullish, and then, of course, Drip would be bearish. So something to keep in mind. Of course, you've had a lot of just strong movement to the upside with crude oil, a lot of basically sanctions becoming more restrictive on Russian gas this time into India, which is quite overreaching, I would say, but is obviously moving the market in a major way. And so we'll see kind of how that shakes out for the U.S. and Russia themselves. You have the gold contract actually moving today. You're up 1.39% at 2,719. I believe the Chinese divulged that they bought a ton of gold in December. You have copper up about 1.36% at $4.40. Excuse me, guys. These allergies are when I was young, I never had to deal with allergies, and I've gotten older. They have gotten significantly worse as I age. If anyone can give me some, words of encouragement that it gets better, even if it's a lie, please comment. Let's see what else we got going on. Yields coming down pretty significantly, or at least, again, counter to what they have been. You had the 5-year at 106. You had the 30-year at 112.17, and then, of course, the 10-year at 108.09. You did have some movement. A lot of people are starting to look at, this is obviously the leverage ETF version. But, you have some action in the TLT, and you're getting this kind of discussion, at least in, just, I guess, sentiment-wise, about potentially buying TLT. You're getting a lot of these fixed income guys hopping on, let's say Yahoo or whatever it might be, and really pushing this. There's people online who are talking very heavily about it. It's kind of interesting. I'm not really someone who plays with bonds. You should know how bonds work without a doubt in the market if you're going to trade. But trading them is kind of a different thing, I suppose. You have Apple up 1.93%. You have Bank of America. The bank smashed it, man. Up 3.31%, very strong. You got Citigroup trading up about 7.54% at 79.03. Look at that gap up. And then a massive body, too. Up to the green. We're trading out near the highs, 79.25 for the day, trading right now at 79.04. Celsius doing all right, up about 1.88%. Disney not doing too much. Let's see, what else? Steel Dynamics, Tesla is unbelievable. So what I'm thinking is really going on with Tesla here, and again, this had been consolidating right under that $400 level. It needed to get there. Not significant amount of volume today, but not insignificant either. I think probably what the story is here is the basically banning of Chinese electric vehicles in the U.S. That obviously gives them a massive kind of angle. Additionally, this building of data centers, right? This push by the U.S. government to get more of these built I'm sure benefits Tesla as well with their Gigafactory, and of course a lot of that is going to be, they want to harness Grok. One of the interesting things about Tesla, and I think one of the arguments that kind of the permeables are for Tesla is, again, and I've mentioned this with Rivian, and I don't like when vehicle companies say this, but maybe it's a little bit different in Tesla. I can't really say for sure, but it's this idea of Grok and the central processing kind of facility that Tesla is going to have in order to basically control vehicles, right? This is like a really unique way, I think, to approach this situation. So instead of just having the car make decisions within itself, right, you're having it communicate with a larger kind of central nervous system, I suppose. I think you could probably get a little bit more effective with that if you think about it. And then additionally, you're certainly not going to have issues with, let's say, Teslas crashing into other Teslas, right? Because it knows where it's at all times. Especially relative to other Teslas, which is kind of unique, I think. I think Tesla is much more of just an Elon buy in a lot of ways. I mean, we look at other companies, I think Lucid in this same kind of realm is up 3.04% today. And Rivian is up, I believe, but still kind of off from its massive run it had up to that 16 level. It's up 4.75%. So regardless, I mean, Tesla seems to be this play. You get a lot of coverage, a lot of analyst coverage on their self-driving, and perhaps some of these looser regulations or heavier funding for data centers might benefit Tesla to some extent. You got DCO up about 1.45%. That is Ducom, Lunar running. No really apparent reason, I don't think. Okay, I see here. This is, I see. Mentioned as part of a $4.82 billion contract from NASA for near space network services. I'll have to read more into that because this happens a lot with some of these smaller companies. Not that Lunar is necessarily small at this point. I mean, you're trading at 1.7 billion market cap. But, this was a thing with like BBAI as well, BlackBerry AI. They were saying they had gotten a renewal, they had gotten a NASA contract, but they didn't really get it, right? They were subcontracted out from the original contract holder, excuse me. And it was only about a 1.2 million. So you got to always check that kind of stuff, right? This kind of exuberance is just people wanting to get back in. You get some news you can kind of treat as a nucleus to grow out more. And that's kind of what we got going on. PL up 3.26%, Vuzi up 7.65, and then Fubu coming back just a little bit I don't know what the heck I just did there. I think I did the options change. I don't even understand. I got to take a look at this now. See, with Thinkorswim, it's a fantastic kind of, I just moved to the options, honestly. There we go. Thinkorswim is such a good platform, but as far as like trading options, like I'll do it straight just from Schwab. I never go into here and do it. But, well, folks, stay right there. We'll be right back. We got a lot to talk about today. Quantum being one of them. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We're just kind of going over everything I have on the watch list before we went to the break. You know, we're going to look at CPI numbers, okay? This move in the SPY, like, you know, you do have a nice gap up, right? But it's, you know, it's not on any significant volume. And in fact, it's kind of like contracting a little bit, right? I mean, you're a little bit lower than what you're usually trading at, especially on some of these strong moves and especially on some of the gap ups that you have. I still think things haven't really materially changed at all. I mean, yeah, your CPI is a little bit better, you know, but the discussion is still, you know, this economy is still very strong. You still have concerns of inflation, right? I don't see the CPI number necessarily, you know, resulting in lower interest rates or further interest rate cuts. So I don't know if this is just, I don't know. Part of me wants to just go get some kind of leveraged bear ETF for tomorrow and just see what happens. And I mean, you know, when you get these gap ups, you're tending to get it 3 days moving to the upside. But you know, that's been on volume. The gap up has been. And you're just not getting that today. And the conviction, you know, it can kind of tell you might not be there totally. Anyways, that's kind of my thought on that. That's just my personal opinion. Taking a look at CPI, okay. You know, for all items, you're about 2.9. Let's take a look. So, increased 0.4% on a seasonally adjusted basis. Here, let me just move this thing over. Seasonally adjusted basis in December after rising 0.3 in November. Over the last 12 months, all items in the index have increased 12.9% before the seasonal adjustment. Index for energy rose 2.6% in December, accounting for over 40% of the 40% of the monthly all items increase. That is going to get probably a little bit worse as well, considering spikes in natural gas and certainly crude. You know, one of the things I'll say as well, at the gas pump, right? And I'm assuming these margins aren't massive for these guys, because anytime you get a decrease in crude, they're very slow, right, to decrease the price at the pump. The minute you get a day of, you get an increase in the contract. Gas prices. I mean, I was paying nearly just at $2.98 after months of kind of suppressed movement in crude. And then the minute this goes up, it's now back up $3.25. I mean, it's absurd. And I get that you look at core, right? Try to get less sheer volatility, but the volatility also the volatile category really does matter, right? I mean, that's what affects people in a major way. So anyways, let's take a look here just a little bit further. The index for energy rose 2.6% in December, accounting for over 40% of the monthly all items increase. Gasoline index increased 4.4% over the month. The index for food also increased in December, rising 0.3 as both the index for food for food at home and the index for food away from home increased 0.3% each. That is true as well. It is expensive. That's what they always tell you, right? Like, don't eat out. Go ahead and like buy your groceries and make it at home. That's fine. I'm fine taking an hour or whatever out of my night to do that. But it's still pretty expensive. Anyways, you can kind of take a look here, right? So food at home, okay, a little bit less, which is fantastic from a month prior. Kind of same from food away at home. Energy, stark increase here. Gasoline, obviously stark increase. Fuel oil, stark increase. Energy services up for sure after that being somewhat of deflationary pressure on it. Electricity up 0.3, utility, so on and so forth. Shelter staying somewhat similar here. Transportation increasing quite a bit there, and the medical services decreasing just a little bit. I don't see this necessarily as a reason for everything to rally. Maybe the yields wanted to readjust or something like that with CPI, which is giving you a little bit of breathing room and everything else. But again, the economy is still strong, still growing. We need to wait for tech kind of earnings, and that will really, I think, play a flavor for the rest of the year. But as it stands now, I mean, this is, I think, kind of a stark gap up 1.97% right now. And I don't know if that stays persistent like that. Instinctually, I feel like no, and I don't think there are any necessarily improving market conditions besides yields coming down a little bit. But what does that send us for the rest of the time? I mean, even if you stay at these levels, this is going to be very earnings dependent going forward, right, as opposed to interest rate cut dependent. So we'll have to just wait and see. Again, with the SPY, you're trading up 1.98% at 593, at least with the SPX, about 595, I think. Yeah, 5,958 on it. And we'll see, maybe it does want to chase that 6,000. Maybe we get two sessions, like if it follows the same pattern that it has over the past, when it gaps up like that, you follow up, you try to get to 6,000, and that really matters. Can you get over that mark with some kind of substantial volume, or at least have staying power at that level? Just got to wait to see on it. But that's my thing is I don't believe that maybe those numbers necessarily warrant this kind of, at least with the Russell, you've seen actually with these kind of smaller cap guys, right? You've seen better performance in the Russell 2000 than you really have, at least over the past few days, than you had the few sessions with, the SPX composite, DJI. And I wonder, if you're getting some kind of pivot from kind of the larger guys, right? You've really pumped forward a lot of your tech guys in composite, of course, in the SPX. And so maybe they're seeing some more room to grow in some of these smaller caps that might have gotten ignored a little bit, or maybe not just, as much love. But I think capital is expensive. Can these large tech companies keep running? That's going to move the SPY even higher. That's going to move the composite even higher. Maybe where we've been before the Fed decision December 14th. Not so sure. Let's take a look, speaking of things in tech, and I'm going to preface something here. I definitely don't think this is staying. Okay, let's talk what happened with quantum. You guys know I've been very bearish on quantum recently. I think there's really good reason to be bearish. You've heard from me that the only one I think is moderately interesting is IonQ. And this is a weird thing, right? Where you can have these, and this isn't trading, and if you're doing your fundamental analysis, where it can logic out properly every time to being you need to short this company, buy puts on the company, whatever. Get out of your equity holdings. But it is so hard to fight momentum, right? You have to be dynamic when you do this. And I learn this all the time, right? Let's take a look at what's going on. We have IonQ, okay? This guy is up 35.28% today on some pretty decent volume, considering. You have Rigetti trading up 25%. And then this is what blows my mind. Because before we even look at that, hold on. Before we even look at that, Rigetti and IonQ are at least trying to go towards building operational quantum computers, right? You have IonQ actually making deals buying Cubitek. You have them making deals with the Air Force Base. Rigetti is trying to do maintenance for these computers, right? Then you have Qubit, which doesn't really do anything, and they are up 52.3% right now at 1139. Just be careful. Be careful. We'll talk some more about this when we get back from the break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This market has turned red, Tigers, and the question we should be asking ourselves is how to position for a potential bear market. Plenty of gains can be made in bull markets, but if we've entered bearish territory, that strategy needs to change. So, how do we pivot so we can see green in the red? Join Larry this month, January 10th and 24th, for live trading action. You'll sit next to Larry as he places live trades, explains his methodology, and answers questions live. Larry brings his decades of trading knowledge directly to you, teaching you how to navigate this shifting market. Go to the front page of TFNN.com today and secure your spot fast for live trading Fridays with Larry Pesavento. Happy New Year, Tigers. We'll see you January 10th and 24th. TFNN. Educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, you're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We were talking a little bit about quantum in general before we went to the break. Let's go through just kind of the timeline, right? You have IonQ. IonQ wins decent contract from the Air Force Research Lab. Okay, that was nice. He had some nice run up in that stock. And then you have Google release Willow Chip. Once Willow Chip was released, you had unbelievable movement. This is around this area to the upside in all of these quote-unquote quantum stocks. Again, I don't think quantum computing is really a quantum stock in any way. This is D-Wave, this is Rigetti, this is IonQ, this is QuantumScape, which actually, again, is not a quantum company, but a solid-state EV battery company. But because it had quantum in the name, it rallied. And then you have this kind of sideways movement, and then you get Jensen Huang. And Jensen Huang, obviously CEO of NVIDIA, he comes out and kind of says, like, hey, quantum's still about, 10 years out? And then said, our GPUs can kind of mimic what quantum does. And you have this insane sell-off in it, right? I mean, these were big multi-day moves to the downside. This is in QUBT. In IonQ, the same thing happens, right? Huge gap downs, bigger, larger movements to the downside, right? Same with Rigetti. And then today, inexplicably, Jensen Huang comes out and says he's going to host a quantum day, right? Quantum day, quote, to illuminate the future of quantum computing. And maybe he thought it just warranted discussing, since someone randomly brought up the question to him and he answered it that way. Of course, the kind of showcasing that he had nothing to really do with quantum, someone just kind of asked him, right? And he kind of gave his thought. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with that. But then, of course, he comes out and says, we're going to do this. This is March 20th. So let's talk. This is kind of funny. Sorry, that's a personal note. But the people speaking on the industry leaders, you have Allison Bob, which I believe, I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's probably an encryption company based on the name. You have Atom Computing speaking. Okay, you have D-Wave, right? That's one of our guys we've been looking at. You have Inflection. You have IonQ, another one, Pascal, PsiQuantum, Quantinuum, Quantum Circuits, Q-Era Computing, Rigetti, and SEQC. Okay, so Rigetti makes sense coming up. IonQ makes sense coming up. Of course, they got some expansion in contract. But someone that is just glaringly missing from that list are the guys from quantum computing. Okay, they're not doing quantum. Remember, when I was looking at this stock early on, they were thin film lithium niobate, and that was for photonics. And maybe that can be used for quantum, but that's what they were. That's what they were trying to run on, right? They were trying to run on that they're getting their chip manufacturing up for thin film lithium niobate chips. And they had, one contract for some nebulous group in Asia, and then another one for the University of Texas, Austin, who said that, well, it was just kind of a small sample. We just wanted to see what the thing did, right? Then we took a look, right, at, I've spoke about this so much. Long story short, last quarter they made $101,000 in revenue. They're valued right now $1.47 billion. They've had $2 million invested in chip manufacturing equipment, which is not enough, even slightly. Again, if you want a real quantum company, you can look at IBM to some extent, although you get exposure to other things that aren't quantum. Probably IonQ, probably Rigetti, but definitely not Qubit. As for this running up 53.63%, that's just kind of a testament to you cannot fight momentum. No matter how illogical momentum is, you are going to lose if you do that, right? And you need these moments like Jensen Huang coming out and saying, I don't really believe this is going to be the case, and it cracks down, right? This gets hard popped when they have earnings come out, and it gets hard popped when they have to admit that they don't have anything to do with chip manufacturing, and they're not anywhere near that right now, right? And of course, they could probably spin it to some extent. It doesn't sound as poor as it materially is, and you can still get some movement to the upside. But I think Qubit is really in a very tough situation on the long term, right? So just be aware of that. Of course, too, you have Microsoft. Let me see if I can get that headline up, because I believe they mentioned something recently about quantum as well. So, this still has some, right? So this is interesting, okay? And I don't know what Microsoft's angle is on this, but it seems like there might still be just some kind of like momentum ammunition in quantum, right? And I had said late last year when this rally started kind of taking off with Google's Willow chip release, I said, hey, maybe they kind of push quantum as a way to keep moving this market a little bit to the upside, right? And I just didn't, my opinion on that was tempered based on how fast it moved up. And really, I think just how illogically exuberant a lot of the buying was. I mean, you had so much buying occurring at all these levels, right? The volume is absurd on things like Qubit. It was absurd on IonQ. It was absurd on Rigetti. But you have Microsoft come out today and they declare it the quote year to become quantum ready and unveil the a corporate training program for it. So it's called the Quantum Ready Program. It's a slate of workshops and industry-specific forums to help business leaders get acquainted with the technology. Let's see here. They anticipated the pace of quantum research and development to accelerate over the next 12 months. They said, we are at the advent of a reliable quantum computing era, and we are right on the cusp of seeing quantum computers solve meaningful problems and capture new business venture. Quantum stocks at last appear to be catching their breath. This article goes on to say that's irrelevant. It's just bizarre. They also say it's the year of agentic AI, and I lean more towards what a lot of the other professionals in the tech sector are saying, which is quantum computing isn't going to really do meaningful things at an enterprise level until 5-8 years from now, right? And no doubt you can get vast improvements in quantum, but there's a level you have to achieve before it starts becoming, valuable, right? And again, we saw that with things like D-Wave trying to decrypt stuff, right? Only getting to 22 bits. Quantum can be helpful, at least in pharmaceutical researches. It can be helpful in equity analysis and stuff. Of course, you have McKinsey talking pretty heavily about how, good quantum can really be for the financial institution. But even they gave it a kind of horizon of 5 to 8 years. And so I don't know what Microsoft's angle was in saying this, unless they genuinely believe it and they know something that the rest of us do not. So it's somewhat interesting. The momentum is still there. Be cautious. Be definitely cautious with quantum. But be cautious with the IonQ and Rigetti. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everyone. To finish up just on this quantum thing, something that's actually, I think, positive for IonQ and positive for, I've been talking about with like post-quantum encryption, is they just announced a new $21.1 million project with the United States Air Force Research Lab, pushing the boundaries on, quote, secure quantum networking. Very cool. I mean, if you're like a networking guy or just into computers at all, this is like really cool stuff. I mean, it is neat. I love the idea. And I don't want to sound like a hater because I know sometimes when you can get bearish against some of these equities or anything that's rallying, it sounds like some hater stuff. And I don't mean it that way. I think this stuff is cool. I think one thing that makes us America is that we have always tried to push for the newest and the best, the most unique stuff, right? And I think that we as a people, our best qualities come out in those moments, right? And so this is really neat. Like, even if quantum is not, if it's going to be 5 years of constant, capital hemorrhaging until we get to something interesting, I think it could be worth it depending on what that thing is, right? And it's just the success of it in and of itself, I think, is massive. So, I think this is kind of cool. So this is IonQ. They announced a $21.1 million project via Cubatech Incorporated to work with the United States Air Force. The new effort represents another significant milestone as it collaborates with AFRL. So it's installing a quantum network infrastructure at the Innovare Advancement Center in Rome. Quantum networks are poised to become important secure infrastructure as technology enables multiple nodes to communicate via entangled qubits. Offering secured. So that is a little bit different than post-quantum encryption. So they're communicating via entangled qubits. I wonder if that would be something akin, to like a random number generation. So maybe you would create a session, and that session itself is kind of wrapped almost in this random number generation. So precise timing synchronization and a foundation for distributed quantum computing. This is pretty cool. Yeah. And again, IonQ's, they did very well on their last quarterly earnings report. So we're looking forward to see Q4. Again, they have the most staying power over this horizon, right? When you really start seeing this stuff get rolled out, like 2028, 2029 type deal. So neat. Very cool, at least on that. I think it's important to put the good with the bad as well. Let's see, what else can we kind of take a look at? Some interesting kind of news that I usually cover like on the end, but I kind of just want to say it right now because I know more people listen and it trails off at the end. But another huge win. The FDA is banning red dye number 3, which is great. It has been linked to cancer in animals. I think that's fantastic. Probably just making a little comment on it on the 4 p.m. stock market update, but I think that's very cool. Let's talk a little bit about what the Biden administration just said regarding artificial intelligence infrastructure. This is some really neat stuff, okay? So he's opening federal lands for AI data centers and sets the rules for developers. This is something that I think probably has staying power into the Trump administration. Now, Trump could be like, no, we're not doing this, and then just do the same thing again, maybe like 2 months later and just rename it or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't happen because it's just kind of wasting time. But I mean, you're looking at things, like Nebius. Nebius has had fantastic kind of few days. Partly, I think what's going on with Nebius is that this market is getting freaky and people are looking for companies that maybe don't have insane growth potential, although I think Nebius really does, based on competitor evaluation, who their, kind of C-suite is, their money, their lack of debt, et cetera, et cetera. But you're seeing these kind of guys go up. Same with Hut, right? Nebius is going up very well. I think they just got another coverage and buy, I believe from BWS Financial. They gave it a price target of 51, which is pretty solid. Again, this is what we've been talking about with Nebius. You just need more analyst coverage. And you don't have to listen to what BWS Financial says, and who knows why they said that, right? But the point being is that the more analyst coverage you get on something, the more people realize, okay, this is actually an opportunity that I didn't know existed. I think Nebius's current balance sheet speaks for itself. I think their plan is great, very interesting. We can talk a little bit about Applied because I was discussing that yesterday. They got kind of slaughtered, right? Earnings were not bad in any capacity, okay? Wow, look at this, huh? So they've recovered a little bit throughout the day. This is another example of these data center companies. I believe this thing also started off as like a Bitcoin miner, trading right now at 1.7 billion. What happened? Essentially, they had improved EPS, right? Revenue was okay, but their large data center kind of facility or the land that they're going to build it on that project is continuing to get pushed out, and they didn't really have kind of an explanation for it. Additionally, they changed the way that they account for amortization of their GPUs, and that really increased EBIT. So as good as those earnings were, it doesn't necessarily reflect any improving business condition in Applied Digital. So you kind of had a sell-off in that. That is, of course, an unfortunate kind of miss for the quarter. And although they have kind of like an early mover's advantage here, I think what happens with these data center build-outs that can kind of be an issue with someone like Applied is that it's allowing the Department of, I believe it's like of Energy, to build these data centers as well. And now, of course, you'll probably use some companies like this, right? But that causes a significant problem for APLD, right? You have a lot of institutions very bullish on this stock, but until they can actually start making leeway in their data center and start seeing some improving financial conditions, you're probably going to stay around these levels, unless there's any more news, with what they had yesterday with the Australian bank giving them a ton of money. So kind of interesting to see nonetheless. And again, I will say a lot of people are quoting that $5 billion mark. They did not get the $5 billion, they got the $900 million, and there is opportunity for another $4.1 billion in equity financing for Applied Digital. It's kind of interesting. Still, I think it shows some kind of support from larger guys, but they're not always right, of course, and there are always some better kind of opportunities. Let's talk a little bit about Navitas. So these guys have been talking about just a little bit. The semiconductor company, they make semiconductors using silicon carbide. They're up 14.72% today, market cap of $662 million. I wanted to take a closer look. First being, if silicon carbide is so much more heat resistant, why are you not seeing greater use by foundries or even companies like NVIDIA in building it? And TSMC actually came out and said that it's because there's not really a market for silicon carbide, right? So bad volume, price rallies and decreases very frequently. It seems, though, that they are trying to establish a market for TSMC, which is interesting. But we'll still talk about the massive threat that kind of exists within Navitas when we get back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, you're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I just had a coughing fit out of Tombstone, the movie. We're gonna get good. I'm gonna take some Benadryl or something. So I apologize if the mic sounds weird or I sound weird. Take a look at Navitas again. Silicon carbide, decent stuff. TSMC says we don't really use it because there's not really a massive market for it. So it's poor volume and price swings are very volatile, essentially, very constant. One of the things I was taking a look at their 10K from last year, and there was a portion in here that I think poses a significant risk to Navitas going forward. This is on page 6 of the 10K if you want to look at it yourself. But they have, quote, significant operations and significant portions of our revenue in China. Our business development plans, result of operations and financial conditions may be materially and adversely affected by significant political, social, and economic developments in China. It seems like stuff is kind of getting a little frosty with China as well. Of course, we've been covering salt typhoons, infiltration of our telecom network, strip and replace or rip and replace of our telecom backbone from Huawei products, right? Of course, we just banned EV vehicles coming here. We're trying to ban oil from Russia going into the... I mean, even if the tariffs don't materialize, there are significant problems I think, with China-American relations. Let's say none of that materializes at all, and it's actually just some kind of weird little thing. China still has decreasing economic performance. Even though they are growing technically, they're not growing at the rate that they want to or that they have been. So I think that poses a massive issue for Navitas. Makes me almost not really want to get into it. Of course, you know, do your own DD. I'm going to continue to do more DD on Navitas. It's just what I saw as I was kind of going through the 10K. But that's where we're at today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be joined tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. by Tommy O'Brien for the morning market kickoff. We'll see you then. Take care.